Andrew J. Willis from Houston, Texas, USA. And I'm in one of the greatest cities in the world. Belfast, Northern Ireland is not just one of my favorite places to be. It's one of the most beautiful places on God's green earth. And right in the middle of it is this New Life City Church. And through the years, I've been coming to New Life with Pastor Jack McKee and Pastor Johnny McKee for the better part of 2 decades. And to see the amazing track of growth is unlike almost anything I've ever seen in the world. There's just not many churches like this. And I don't know any other church that has the vision that this church has. It's an original vision. This is not a cut and paste vision at New Life. This is something that God gave Jack McKee a long time ago when I was a little boy and he was already a grown man and a preacher. But look what God's doing in this city. And every time we're here for meetings, there's such a liberty in the meetings at New Life because there is a unique gathering of people here who are just hungry for God to manifest and not just bless their personal lives. But this is the special thing about this church. They love this city and they love what God's doing all over this city. And it's one of the few churches I've ever been in this part of the world that has the doors open to everybody. It truly is whosoever will. There are some churches I speak in various parts of the world that you're afraid to invite people that you meet on the street because you know they're not going to be welcome. They're not the right type to go in that church. But at New Life, everybody is welcome here from whatever side of the gate, whatever religious affiliation or lack thereof. They're welcome here. And when people get here, I've been coming here long enough to see this, that when new people come here and have an experience with God, the next time I come back to this city, they're a part of the family. They fit in here. They belong. And then I see them on the praise team, or I see them working with the greeters. And it's somebody that the last time I was here, they were new to the things of God. So it's an exciting place to be in with the location that God has given New Life City Church. It's got to be the most remarkable thing in any city in the world that God positioned New Life City Church right here to fulfill the vision that God's given them, so that they are reaching every part of a community. And Jesus is the great uniter. You know, historically, political and religious conflict has never been resolved by a man. Everywhere you go in the world, there is conflict that has existed for centuries. And the only thing that resolves that, the only thing that brings reconciliation is Jesus. And the great thing about New Life City Church is there is no confusion in their mind about that. They know that Jesus is the reconciler, and they're bringing so many people from so many different walks of life together. It's one of the few places I've ever been that I think, man, I'd like to move there and be a part of what God's doing there. You're so blessed to have it in your community. And another thing I love about New Life is their music is crazy off the charts. They have in a part of the world that is known for music. Belfast has produced some of the greatest musicians, singers, bands, the greatest acts in the history of mankind. Right here in this church, you have some of the most talented people on God's green earth, and they're a part of the praise team. Which that's the thing. It's not just that they're great musicians. They know how to help you worship God, and they draw you in, not in an intimidating fashion, but they just know what they're doing, and they know how to make you want to love God with them. And after you are in a worship experience at New Life City Church, you will never be the same again. You will never be happy with church as usual again, because these guys take it to the next level every time there's an intense experience with God. And finally, I would say to you that the ministry of the Word of God here, there's a premium on that. This is one of the most worshiping churches I've ever preached in. But they put a premium on the Word of God here. And so they have some of the finest Bible teaching and preaching that you're going to hear anywhere, from men and women who love God, who have invested time in studying the Word of God, and they bring it from so many different perspectives. Obviously, the eternal perspective is covered, but they also know how to take that eternal Word of God and plug it into what's happening in Belfast right now. How to rip out of the headlines today's actions and connect it with what the Word of God says about it. And it's the reason why, there is a monumental move of God that is raising up out of this church. It is exponentially increasing, and it's really touching the four corners of the earth. New Life City Church and Pastor Jack McKee has a worldwide footprint. The church I lead back in Houston, Texas, they love Jack McKee, and we got his books, we have his teaching, and anytime we have the opportunity to have him in our pulpit, Jack McKee has an open door. And that's the way it is for him all over the world. And yet, you have his heart here in Belfast. You're really blessed.